Welcome to the Epcotian Adventure,
a podcast where we talk about all things Disney, but we're Epcot-centered.
including tips and tricks, festivals and favorites, and the very latest in our rankings and reviews.
But we're still old enough to remember when the only Disney elephant we knew was Dumbo.
This is episode 94, the Caring for Giants Tour at Disney's Animal Kingdom.
Or, they say they're all elephants, but they look suspiciously like heffalumps.
They do, don't they? So now, please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the podcast as we embark on our Epcotian adventure.
We call it Epcot.
Howdy, folks, and welcome to episode 94 of the Epcotian Adventure. I'm Rod.
And I'm Sue.
And we're going to talk about a tour we took on our last visit at Disney's Animal Kingdom, the Caring for Giants Tour. Now, this is one we talked about doing for years, really.
We love to do tours. We love anything that involves going backstage, especially for Animal Kingdom. The wild animal trek that we did, or the wild Africa trek.
Africa trek, yes.
Was one of the best experiences I've had at a Disney park. I cannot mention that one enough. But this one is on a whole different level because it's only $39.
Yeah, it's on the same par price-wise as like the Behind the Scenes tour at Epcot.
Behind the scenes at the land. And you get to see all the plants. This one is the same idea, but you're getting to go up close and personal with the elephants. Now, I say up close and personal. I don't want to give you the wrong idea.
Yeah, this is not I'm going to go ride the elephants or go touch the elephants or go feed the elephants.
Right.
This is more of an educational tour, much like any of the tours that you're going to see at Disney. This is a behind-the-scenes tour, so you're learning more than you're doing on this tour.
Right. You just get extended time to go in depth and learn about the elephants and the care for the elephants and all. You're going to hear the word elephants so many times.
Yeah,
Please
don't make that
not
a drinking game.
Make this a drinking game.
Oh, that'd be bad.
That would be bad. But yeah, the tour is called Caring for Giants. It is at Disney's Animal Kingdom. They offer it up to 4 times a day. That can change. I believe the day that we did it, there were only 2 tours. I think it varies by season. But the different times are 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 1 p.m., and 2 p.m. It is only an hour-long tour. But they make great use of that hour, I thought.
Yeah, and for the price, $39 per person. And I don't think there's a kid's price on that.
You know,
that
I couldn't find one, so
Yeah.
I don't think there is.
Just like a per-person tour. You do have to cancel within 24 hours on this one. Like the other tours, if you don't cancel within 24, they're going to just keep the money and sell it to somebody else. But I do highly recommend getting a reservation for this tour because it does sell out.
And it sells out quickly. All of the Animal Kingdom tours, actually all of the backstage tours, all the parks, sell out very, very quickly. We actually, when we went, we ended up using Mouse Watcher, which I've recommended in the past. It is a non-Disney site. It is not sponsored or owned by Disney. We paid $9 to Mouse Watcher so that they would watch it for us because it was sold out. They watched it for us, and then they sent me a text when a reservation spot opened up for the day that we were looking for. Perfect situation. It was so worth that $9.
It was so cold that day, too, that all of a sudden we started getting cancellation after cancellation after cancellation the day before. So
yes. Technically, had we been willing to watch it on our own, we probably could have done it without Mouse Watcher. But
for $9,
exactly,
it's worth the money. And they're not a sponsor of ours. We just like their service.
Exactly. We've used them many times in the past, gotten results almost every time we've tried for things. They've gotten one for us. So highly recommend. You do have to be 4 or over, so no babies, no toddlers. And it is an outdoor tour. So rain or shine, they're going to do this tour because the cast members and the elephants are already there. So you're either going to join them or not.
Be aware that if you have allergies to something like dust or hay, you may want to avoid this tour because you are backstage where they're not going to be able to guarantee that you're not going to get that kind of allergen blown towards you, or if the elephant's feeling frisky, thrown towards you.
And you may also encounter insects or that sort of thing because it is outdoors. So just keep those things in mind.
So what is the tour like? Well, when we got there, we checked in at the Curiosity Animal Tours desk, which is the one that you also use for the other tours that they have around Animal Kingdom. And it's across from the Kilimanjaro Safari entrance. And you just show up, talk to the nice guide. They have you sign a waiver. Mm-hmm. And you can sign it for your kids, of course, if you're there with a family. And they give you name tags that you can keep with your name on it and the tour you're on.
And they're adorable. I'll post a picture of ours. But then you just check in about 15 minutes ahead of your tour. You have time to go use the restroom. You do not have access to a restroom on the tour. Just keep that in mind if that's a factor for you or your kids.
Yeah, it's only an hour-long tour, so this one's not so bad.
Right.
Yeah, thank heavens.
And it is accessible. Everything that you're going to do is via ramp, and there is a van ride, but that is accessible as well. You will have to leave your ECV behind if you are using one of those. You are welcome to use a courtesy wheelchair, though, for the tour. They will provide one for you. They will not push it for you. So if you are on your own, you are pushing yourself in the wheelchair, or you can have a family member or one of your people that you're there with push that for you. But just be aware you cannot bring your ECV, but otherwise it is totally accessible.
You are backstage for the entire tour, so you're not allowed to take pictures. They do ask you that you keep your phone in your pocket the entire time. They don't want to see you with your phone even out.
Right.
So, and I got warned about that when we stopped at the point where we got out of the van, which we'll talk about more in a second. The lady actually goes, "No, put your phone away. We're not there yet." So you walk backstage for, I don't know, not even a tenth of a mile.
No, it was a very short distance.
You board a van and they take you out to a point where you get out and walk up over the berm, up some ramps or some stairs. So it is, like Sue says, it is accessible. It's an easy walk. And then you get to where you're viewing the elephants from behind the scenes, but you can still see the vehicles going by on Kilimanjaro Safari, so you get to wave at people and go, "Hey, look where I'm at, and you're not, ha ha ha." And the elephants just kind of wander in and out of the area you're in. They don't entice them with food. They don't call them by name. They go, here, elephant. No, nothing like that. So they'll talk about them as you can see them. And even if they're not in view, they'll talk about them even if you can't see them.
Yeah, so we got to learn about the entire elephant family, even though we were only mostly seeing one of them. We'll get to that in a minute. But like Rod said, you are behind the scenes from where you normally see the front of the show. You're seeing the backside of where that big pond is and the big baobab tree. So you're seeing that whole scene, but from the other side, which I just thought was super cool. I loved getting to stand back there and look at them for as long as I wanted to.
And from there, just so to be clear, from there you can take pictures.
Yes, they encourage you to take pictures and videos and the whole thing. That was a great point. Yes. Yeah. Your guide, ours, I believe her name was Meg. We did a cast compliment for her. She was so good, but I didn't write her name down. I believe her name was Meg. She was fantastic. But she will tell you when it's time that, yes, you can now take photos. So there's 2 different levels. You sort of go down a little ramp, an easy little ramp, and there's a railing and there's benches. And the whole thing is very, very easy to maneuver. You don't have to worry about any stairs or any dirt paths or anything. It's all paved.
If you're not familiar with the Kilimanjaro safaris and Animal Kingdom in general, too, just so you know, these elephants have over 7 acres to wander through.
Yes.
Now, they do separate them out by family because the families can get a little cantankerous.
Well, and they separate the boys from the girls.
Also true.
So
they kind of have to.
That's important. Yeah. But they also can separate them if there's any conflicts or right now. Well, let's just talk about the families.
Yeah.
So elephants are a matriarchal society, meaning the mama's in charge. The mama right now is Donna. That's her name. And her oldest daughter is Nadiri. And Nadiri is now in her own enclosure with her new baby, who was born in December of 2023. Her name is Cora.
And she's adorable.
She's so cute. And she is actually the first second-generation elephant born at Disney's Animal Kingdom. I just think that's so cool that they now have generations going.
Disney's Animal Kingdom is a member of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. They're accredited.
Yes.
So they do breeding programs. And they'll actually swap out elephants for other elephants as needed to other facilities.
Yeah, and that can be for breeding purposes. That can be for stimulation of they're bored with this environment. We're going to give them a new environment, so they swap. There can be all kinds of reasons for that. But yeah, so Nadiri's sisters are Luna and Stella. Luna was the star of the show when we were there. She was very excited.
She's like me. She's the middle child. So, yeah.
Yeah, and Meg said that she really is a middle child. Like, she will do whatever she needs to do to get Mom's attention, and sometimes she'll just be the teenager and walk away.
Mom! 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 Mommy! Mommy! Mama! Mama! Mama!
What?
Hi.
Yeah, exactly. So she was very entertaining. We loved her. And again, she's not asked to perform for us. She's just being an elephant, just hanging out. So I will post pictures that I got of her. She's gorgeous. That was so fun. We did get to see Stella and Donna as well. Nadiri's in her own enclosure, like I said, with Cora now. Just because Donna and Nadiri have some different ideas of how to raise Cora. Just like any multi-generational family, you're going to have some conflict there.
See, I figured it'd be more of a Golden Girls kind of thing, and it's not, actually. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And Cora's daddy is Mac, and he is in his own enclosure as well with one of the older boys who is learning how to be a male elephant. He's learning how to be a grown-up. So that's very cool too. I love that they do that. Again, they do have access to the water. I actually learned that there are 3 different ponds, lakes, sources
yeah.
that they have access to. So every enclosure is going to have its own. The one that you see on Kilimanjaro Safaris is not the only water access that they have. Yeah, and where we were, I mentioned that we were on a paved path and there was a railing, like a wood railing, but then is a great big chasm that you don't really see, but it acts as a barrier so that the elephants don't want to go down that hill.
Yeah, unless they learn how to jump or fly anytime soon, they're not going to get out from there. So, and
then there's some cattail type plants planted at the top to get their attention, and then there's a metal version that has a slight shock feature built in.
Very, very low shock.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not meant to hurt them. It's only meant to go, oh, I shouldn't go this way.
Today, my jurisdiction ends here.
Right. So to keep them from falling down that hill, because that would be bad for everyone. So that is between you and the elephants, but you don't really notice the chasm. You just kind of look over and see the elephants. So again, you are about 100 feet at best from
usually where they're walking.
From where they are.
They just kind of, like we said, they just kind of meander in and out of the area. But if it's cool, like the day we were there, they were very active. They were up walking around and kind of just, I don't want to say frolicking, but they were enjoying themselves.
Yeah, exactly. They seem to like the cooler temps. I do too. So I can't blame them for that.
Now, this is an informational or edutainment type of tour. It's not meant to be the Jungle Cruise, even though I was an old skipper and used to talk about the African and Asian elephants. I had forgotten a lot of stuff. So we learned a whole bunch of things. Now, we don't want to tell you everything you're going to learn on the tour.
Obviously.
But there were some interesting things that I guess I never knew about elephants.
Yeah, ditto. And all of the ones that they have there are African elephants. African and Asian elephants are different. Is that species, genus? I don't know how that goes. I'm not a science person.
Yeah.
So anyway, they are different. But African elephants have bigger ears, and they say that they're shaped like Africa.
I had never noticed before, but when you pointed it out and you look at them, they're shaped like the continent of Africa.
Which is so cool. So they have like a little flair to them. Asian elephants have smaller rounded ears. So that's how you can tell them apart the easiest way. There are other things, but that's like on visual impact. That's what you're going to see first.
One thing I do remember, because I used to talk about it all the time on Jungle Cruise, is the African elephants do have tusks.
Yes, and I had no idea. I thought only male elephants ever had tusks. Males and females can have tusks. African elephants, like you said, not Asian elephants. I thought that was really interesting. Asian elephants very rarely have tusks, and usually only the males.
We found out their wrinkly skin helps retain water, which I didn't realize.
And again, that's only African elephants.
And it keeps them cooler.
Yeah. they can hold that moisture in those wrinkles and it cools their skin down. How brilliant is that?
One other thing, we're talking about families. Donna's family has this thing where they do what she was calling the spaghetti twirl. And they don't know where it started. It's not a natural behavior, but they, as a group, have started reaching down with their trunk, picking up the food, the hay or whatever, and twirling it like you see somebody do with spaghetti.
So
and then
cute.
eat it. And we saw several of them do it. It was hysterical.
And they said there is no natural phenomenon for this. There's no like precedent for this. It's just something that the females in Donna's line do, which is just hysterical. And I did catch that on video. I will post that. But it was adorable. It's so cute. And then we also learned that they have a very keen sense of smell. They can actually detect water 3 miles away. So if a water source dries up in the wild, it's up to that mama elephant who's leading the family. They use their really keen sense of smell to locate a new water source and lead the family. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it's just amazing. And the amount of dexterity they have with those trunks, it just blows me away. Absolutely amazing watching them just be elephants. Those trunks can actually hold up to 2.5 gallons of water, too, which I had no idea.
Right.
That's crazy.
I always thought that they drank water through their trunks. But that would be like us drinking water through our nose. Like, we don't do that. So
I believe that's called waterboarding, and that's cruel.
Yeah, that is frowned upon. But they use it to suck up all that water and then squirt it into their mouth. So they use it like as a vessel, which is just, I don't know. I'm fascinated by them.
Well, folks, you definitely should look at taking this tour. I can't recommend this tour high enough.
Absolutely. 5 out of 5. I would absolutely recommend it. And at $39, it's something that's a nice little splurge that's not going to break the bank.
And it's only an hour long.
Exactly.
So with Animal Kingdom being considered a half-day park by a lot of people, this is a really good add-on. And right now, if you're going there to see Boxo, the tiger cub,
he's
and
so
waiting
cute.
2 hours in line for the Maharaja Jungle Trek, which right now is longer than the line for
literally anything else
in the park. That's insane. This is another good way to not kill an hour, but to use an hour of your day at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, and we ended up doing this as our Animal Kingdom day. We did that, and then we went over and immediately did the safari so we could see it from the front end. And then we spent the afternoon at Nomad Lounge.
Well, like you do. Yeah,
right.
I mean, that's a given. Speaking of the Nomad Lounge, let's talk about what we did since, hey, we were there and we talk about it all the time.
We do. Now, we do talk about it a lot. It is a lounge that is attached to Tiffin's, which is a very high-end restaurant. And
very yummy.
And
I hear. I want to go sometime. But we keep going to Nomad Lounge and they have food there.
They do.
It is. That's so we know it's yummy.
And Nomad is open from 10:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. You can rope drop this and be first in line. They do not accept reservations, but you can join the walk-up list. We ended up doing it kind of on a whim, and were able to get on the walk-up list in about 10 minutes, which was amazing. As I'm looking at it right now at 2:30 on a Saturday afternoon, it is unavailable. So if you find that, just keep checking back.
Yeah, and do check. Even though it's not available earlier in the day, it will pop up later as people start leaving the park.
Yes, that is a great, since a lot of people treat Animal Kingdom as a half-day park. If you can't get on when you want to, keep checking back in those afternoon hours when people have park hopped. Great tip. That was good.
So we got a couple different things this time, and we've had things there over the years.
Oh,
but,
yes.
I cannot talk about this without mentioning the bread service. The bread service is something that's really famous inside Tiffin's, and it's available in the lounge as well. And they serve it with a coconut curry sauce, a guava sauce, which to die for, and a ginger pear chutney. And
all three were so good.
Oh my gosh. And
there was like a crispy flatbread. There was a really sweet, like Hawaiian type roll. And there was like a normal, I don't want to say normal, sorry. I don't mean normal. Like a standard bread that you would get at a regular table service, but with the sauces. All three of those were so, so good. What was your favorite combo?
The guava with anything. The flatbread was really good. I did a whole bunch of combinations, but the guava with anything was my favorite.
I did the guava and the ginger pear together. Mm-hmm. That was really good with that flatbread. I loved the crispy, crunchy flatbread.
Yeah,
that was my favorite.
It's just under $20. It's about $18 currently.
Mm-hmm.
Again, prices change all the time, so figure just under $20 for the bread service. But it is a really good appetizer, and it's great if you're sitting there noshing on drinks at the same time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I guess you don't nosh a drink, but imbibing a drink.
We also got the grilled chicken satay, which is currently $14 on the menu, and that is grilled chicken skewers. They use the chicken thigh, so it's nice and tender and juicy. There's a curry marinade with cilantro, pickled green papaya, and peanut sauce. That peanut sauce was so good.
Oh my gosh.
It was a really, really good size appetizer for $14.
The peanut sauce with the bread service also.
Yep, we did
Sounds
that too.
weird. Yum.
But they sort of tend towards Asian and Indian flavors, and everything that we've had has been just spectacular. They also have seasonal items available on the menu.
And the best churros in Florida.
Yep. I don't know why.
Why can't Disney World get these churros? Because they're fantastic. They're like little churroettes. They're kind of half-sized churros, but they come with usually a vanilla or chocolate dipping sauce. And they taste like the California churros. Like Disneyland.
They're so good. They're smaller, but there's more of them. And
so good.
Perfectly shareable, and they're gluten-free.
And for $10. You're not going to find an appetizer $10 anywhere.
True.
Yeah.
So we also got drinks. We actually got the same drink this time. So this time we both got the Night Monkey. It is currently $15.50, which is pretty on par for Disney pricing. It contains plantation original dark rum, guava puree, coffee simple syrup, lime juice, and a hint of cilantro. And I know that sounds weird.
It's so good.
But it works.
Gosh.
I don't know why it works,
good.
but it works.
Yeah, my favorite drink on the menu. I've also had their sangria, which is really good. What else have you had on the menu?
I usually get the Annapurna Zing, and I probably said that wrong, but that one is $18.50. It is Bombay Sapphire Gin, passion fruit puree, mint, simple syrup, lime juice, and it's topped with ginger beer, and it comes with a glowing lotus flower, which is where that extra $3 comes from, which I don't need. But anyway, that one is my go-to drink. I love it. And Rod, I think you've had the Tempting Tigress
I've had
before?
the Tempting Tigress before as well. Yeah, it comes with a 10-year bourbon and tamarind sauce and lime juice and
allspice.
It's again, it doesn't sound like it should work. The nice thing about the Nomad Lounge is that they do have drinks and food that is outside the norm. This is not some place that you're going to go and just get a beer. You can, but I would not recommend it. This is definitely for the more adventurous palate and well worth a stop.
Also, the Hightower Rocks, I'm just going to mention real quick because that's another favorite of mine. It's $17.50. It's Casa Dragones Blanco Tequila, watermelon, sweet and sour, and lime juice. It's a much sweeter drink, but very light and refreshing if you're there during hotter months and are sitting outside, which we always recommend. It's a great way to cool off and get a nice refresher. This time we actually sat indoors, which we'd never done before. The outdoors was closed because it was so cold.
So we did see a family out there as we were walking out.
As we left, yes.
They must have been from Wyoming. That's all I can figure, because it was in the 30s when we were there.
It was so cold. But we sat indoors. It was really neat and lots of beautiful African-inspired decor. Our server was great. Really can't say enough about this experience. Do not miss the Nomad Lounge.
Well, a couple other things you can find out elephant-wise through Disney is Disney Plus is currently running Disney Nature Elephants. Elephant or elephant?
It's singular.
Singular, okay.
I don't know why.
And Secrets of Elephants. That's from 2022. The Disney Nature is from 2020. So these are going back a couple years. But these are really good, kind of, again, more infotainment kind of things that Disney Plus is running.
Yeah, Walt Disney loved doing all of these. What were they called? The True Life Special?
True Life Adventures.
True Life Adventures.
Yes.
So this is sort of in that vein, and these are not about the Disney elephants that are at Animal Kingdom that we were just talking about. These are in the wild. Disney Nature Elephant is in the Kalahari Desert. Secrets of Elephants is in Kenya and the Namibian Desert, and they are following these wild elephants. So more information if elephants happen to be your jam. I think they're fascinating. I think they're beautiful, and we loved getting to be up close and personal with them for an hour. It was really, really, really well done. And like I said before, started to say, at $39, it's something that you can do for your family that's not going to break the bank. And it's something that you can revisit each time you go and sort of follow their progress and get to know them and get to know their traits, which I would love to do, and I think is a really, really cool way to treat yourself.
Parents, please tell your kids that if you're going to go on the tour as a kid, you are not going to ride the elephant, you're not going to touch the elephant, and you're not going to feed the elephant.
Right.
There was a poor little, probably 8-year-old that, I want to touch the elephant, I want to ride the elephant. No, sorry.
Not going to happen.
The cast member did a fantastic job of going, honey, we can't do that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, she said, I've worked here for, I don't know how many years. She knew how many. I don't know how many.
Yeah.
But I've worked here for X number of years, and I've never even done that. So it's always safety first. Safety for us, safety for the animals, protection for the animals. They are not here to entertain us. They're here to help us learn.
Yep,
So,
and Disney's Caring for Giants tour is a great way to learn.
absolutely.
Before we go, we'd like to give a big thank you to our theme music composer, Jason Patrick Rowan, whose music is licensed through Pond 5. And of course, thank you, Phoenicians.
Thank you, Phoenicians. And don't forget to rate, review, like, share, and subscribe. It really does help other people find us. You can find us on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts.
The Epcotian Adventure is a $1,000 brunch production and a proud gold member of D23. Thanks for joining us today for episode 94 of the Epcotian Adventure. I'm Rod.
And I'm Sue.
And we'll see you in line.
Bye.
Thank the Phoenicians.
I can't pronounce Aminal today. Yeah, are there any
Aminal.
Aminals in here? I keep saying Aminal Kingdom, but
There you go.
the
You said
caring.
it.
I'm good. Yay!